Okay, please record it for me.
Yeah, last time I sent you the recording, so that will help you.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
When are you going to sit for the exam, Dennis?
19th August.
All right. Okay. So you have about another 12 days more.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm actually taking next week off from my work duties to prepare for it.
Oh, okay. Very good. Very good. Yeah, you must put a full try and do it. So what
Yes.
because what I say is still you must try and read the pre-scene as much as possible so that you can get lot of ideas from that one.
Okay.
So what I did was I just went through your pre-scene and I prepared a mock for you all, especially where I thought, because remember this company right at the moment they are basically in that particular country, that's all, right? But surely I'm sure they can go into other countries, because if you remember the ends of matrix, they must be thinking of new markets all the time. So I thought a good thing for us to think of them diversification, a geographical diversification from their country to another country. So if you remember the pre-scene, you know is that according to the pre-scene, right? According to the pre-scene, it's a company based in some place called Westland or something like that. And so basically, they are doing all the business in that particular part of the world. So based in Westland, where the currency is W dollars, financial statements are prepared in accordance with IFRS. So that part of the statement tell me that they will be going for some outside country, because the IFRSs are relevant only when you go for international, and also by giving the currency, they are surely telling us that they are moving out of our country. So because of that, I prepared, because of that, I prepared this little mark for you. Basically, you are getting an email from Peter. Peter is your finance director, and it's all about a visit of Paul, Tanzania. So I want to see who Paul is. I think Paul is the marketing man.
Okay.
Who Paul is? This is what you must know, because if you put the paper, you must know. Paul is sales and marketing, right? So Paul has gone on a private visit with his family to Tanzania, and he has done a little bit of research on the potential business for servers in that area, and on his arrival has prepared a little note on potential acquisition of an IT consultancy company there, and the briefing paper is attached. So if you are moving into another country, the best way is to acquire a company there, rather than you go and trying to locate yourself to develop. It's easy to acquire a company. That's the best way. And also you must appreciate Paul. Surely he's the managing director. He is going and he's on a private visit, but he has surely done even business work there. Right? So that's something which we must appreciate. When you are writing back, we must say, I want to appreciate what Paul has done even during a private visit, trying to think about the company and looking for some acquisition thing. I'm very keen on embarking outside Westland. So this is Peter. Peter is telling that he is very keen on moving outside the country, that is to diversify. So that also you must respond immediately, saying that it's a good thing that we are thinking of diversification. Rather than being in the same country, it's a good thing, because that is what the ends of matrix says. With the existing products, go into new markets. Would like your views, particularly on an acquisition such as SoftLogic, and your paper should address the following matters. So they are asking,
Okay.
we should be, if you are looking to take over that company, should it be a subsidiary or a branch operation? One. Then I understand it's a tax treaty where the tax credit system operates between two countries. Funding aspects, staffing aspects, any risks involved, operational aspects. So this is all basically the cultural aspects, all to do with when you want to go outside your country.
Okay.
So they are given a little bit of article about the briefing paper. So whilst I was in Tanzania, I just looked at their potential for IT, happened to meet the proprietor of a small IT consultancy company named SoftLogic, and he is willing to sell it outright. And on present exchange rate, the expected consideration is about 300 million W dollars. So first thing, what we want to see is whether we have enough cash or what we should be doing. Right. So let's look at that toss quickly.
Okay.
They have a profit 912. They have about 410 million. So probably they can go for a acquisition because they can even borrow money. It's not too big for their size. I thought it would be a good idea to diversify our company activities into Tanzania, considering that for IT sector the tax rate is 0. Now that's a good thing to think, because in our country we have been taxed at about 30%. So if you can move into another country where the tax is 0 for the IT industry, you can make better profits. Right?
Okay.
So basically, so they are given a little bit about the economy and the industry, a steadily growing economy. So you don't need to read all the details about Tanzania, but reading few things, you will see it's a growing economy and growing at about 6 to 7% each year. And heading itself says it's a steadily growing economy. So that means it will tell you that it has good potential for IT industry. Gold is a key resource, country's most valuable export. High gold prices would have helped to boost Tanzania's economy. So surely they have some natural kind of a thing. Then they have a natural wealth, gemstones, etc. Tourism that is growing out, shipping, and fishing. Despite the country's growing economy, Tanzania has one of the lowest rates of income per head, with many people relying on the food they grow to exist. Now that's another, in a way, plus point. The labor salaries must be very low.
Okay.
So those are few points what you can get from that little article there.
So in a natural sense, you look at the economy as a whole for the new country.
Yeah.
And you see whether it is conducive for business.
Exactly. You have to see whether it is going to be a good environment. It's whether it's conducive for your business. So probably you want to use the model suitability, acceptability, feasibility to see whether it is a fit-in project. Right. So suitability is basically to see whether it's in line with your strategy. So I suppose it's a good thing to move out of your country, because in your country there's so much of competition now, and we are well established. So it's a good opportunity for us to move out from our country into another country. Right?
Okay.
And I will quote the ends of matrix for that one.
Okay. If I might ask a question, in writing your answers, for instance, depending on the question that you are being given to or the requirement, if as the other time you explained that it is necessary where appropriately to state a model. Now, in the way I write, I should make it like according to looking at or according to etc. model.
Yeah.
It will be. Do you have to state the name of the model and what it actually entails? Is it necessary?
That's correct. That is how. Now, so for example, you will be talking about Johnston schools within suitable acceptability feasibility. And then you will quickly go and say suitability is all about whether it fits with our strategy. And then you will say, in my view, it's a good opportunity for us to move out of our country because in our country there is so much of competition, and looking at the economic growth of Tanzania, it will be a good opportunity. It will be a suitable thing for us.
Okay.
Then you talk about the acceptability. Acceptability is all about the the stakeholder expectations. So the key stakeholder is the shareholders. So you want to see, because they are not given anything about NPV calculation because it's too early. So as you can see, acceptability will depend whether the proposed project, proposed acquisition is going to be a positive NPV project.
Okay.
Whether it is going to create shareholder wealth. And also we would have to look at the acceptability from other people's point of view, like our own employees. Particularly if you are going to employ some of these people in that country. Understand?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because sometimes some of your senior people may have to go, so that also will have to be looked at. Feasibility is all about the availability of resources. So about 300 million money they are looking. We have cash right at the moment of 400 million, but we may want to prepare a cash flow and see our requirements and see whether we can put 300, or we have the capacity to borrow money because of the gearing.
Okay.
So that is what we call feasibility, our availability of resources. So we can see as far as the human resources are concerned, subject to the people agreeing that we can put some of our senior people to manage the company. Yeah.
Okay.
You might want to put their people.
So over here, feasibility is all about availability of our resources.
Availability of financial, human, technical resources.
Okay.
Suitability is always whether it is in line with our strategy. Acceptability is the whether it is
expectations of the stakeholders.
Feasibility is all about our availability of resources, including the finances.
Okay.
So
so you to be able to know whether it's feasible, the feasibility meets the requirement, is you checking your statement, your financials, to see whether the cost of the investment, our available cash can be able to buy it.
That's correct. That's right.
Okay.
Or whether we can raise money. If our gearing is low, we can raise money. All that things we can discuss it.
Okay.
So now basically, when you start writing, you must say that that you want to appreciate what Paul has done in a private visit, but the commitment of Paul you will want to appreciate. Then you will say, I too agree with you that it's a good opportunity for us to move out from Westland to Tanzania in accordance with Ansoff Matrix New Markets.
Okay.
Having said that one, now you want to look at whether it should be a subsidiary or a branch operation. Now, that will depend on the taxation aspect. Now, what you saw was Tanzania, no taxation for IT industry. So because of that, if you take the resident status of the company, it will be good for it to be a subsidiary in Tanzania.
Okay.
Rather than having a branch operation, because if it's a branch operation, it will be subject to our country taxation.
If it is what?
If it is a branch operation,
Okay.
then the company is incorporated here, and then it will be subject to our tax laws because it will be under our tax laws.
Okay.
But if it is formed in that country, then it will be a company of Tanzania where there is no taxation.
But what happens? Okay.
Yeah.
What will you use to determine, or what will you use to see whether in that country their tax laws is better than Westland's tax laws? Would the trigger give something sweet for you to know the tax laws there, whether it's suitable, or what will you use to determine whether it should be a subsidiary or it should be a branch?
Now, basically the tax laws, because now here they say in that country the tax is zero, the IT industry.
I didn't hear you. You said?
They say IT sector, the tax rate is zero.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So that is going to trigger, because the tax rate is zero, it's good for that company to be a resident company in Tanzania.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is what it is going to trigger. It all depends on the tax laws and everything. So here it's very simple. When the tax rate is zero, that's a good thing for us to form a company there, because there the profit will not be taxed.
Okay. All right, I get you.
Right. So that's what. So basically, that will be your solution for the first one. You will say, since the tax rate is zero, it is good to form that as a SoftLogic as a fully owned subsidiary of our company.
Okay.
And you remember SparkSpace has a lot of subsidiaries. So this will be another subsidiary.
Okay. Exactly.
Second one, they say, and I understand there's a tax treaty where tax credit system operates between our two countries. So in other words, if you pay any taxes in Tanzania, that tax, whatever you pay, you can claim it as a credit in your country, Westland.
Okay.
But that is not relevant to us here, because whatever it is in Tanzania, it is tax zero.
Okay.
So actually you should not even talk about the tax credit system. You can tell tax credit system is whenever we pay taxes in another country, that amount of tax is given as a credit in our own country. However, because IT sector is tax zero, the tax credit will not become relevant for us.
Relevant.
Yeah, because we are not paying any taxes. So because of that, it's not relevant. Correct?
Okay.
Right. Then we talk about funding aspect. Now, when it comes for funding, you remember we have fair amount of money, it's all right. But whenever you're going out of your country and doing an investment, it's always better to borrow money in that country, at least part of it.
Okay.
Reason, you are mitigated against the political risk. Now, if you take all your money from your country and invest in Sri Lanka, and if Sri Lanka government decides to put some conditions upon you, you have to run away, keeping all your money in Sri Lanka. Right?
Okay.
But if you borrow from a Sri Lankan bank, the government will be somewhat careful in trying to put actions against you, because they know you will leave keeping the Sri Lankan bank in debt.
Okay.
So it's a good good management strategy, if you have, whether you have money or not, at least to take part of your financing from a bank in that particular country.
Sure.
That's the way that you can mitigate the so-called political risk. Now, I remember in Sri Lanka, just before the new government came into power, there was an earlier government. There was a New Zealand company that has come and started manufacturing milk food here, powdered milk food, and they were selling it to the local market. But the price was decided, the selling price was always decided by the local regulator, and so the company had to apply always for the local regulator to get the price changes. So it was just election time. The regulator did not want to give a price increase because it would have been an unpopular decision for the government. So he didn't give a price increase. The New Zealand company fought. It was nothing coming up. What they did was they shut down the factory and all the people went to New Zealand back. Right? But that New Zealand company has borrowed lot of money from a Sri Lankan bank, and also they were giving lot of employment to Sri Lankans. So New Zealanders did not have to protest. The bank protested against the government action. The employees protested against the government action. And in fact, the government had to go almost on their knees and call those people to come and start the business again. Understand? So you can see, whenever we are starting a business, it's good to take money from the foreign country. So funding, that's how you will look at. Even though we may have all the funding, at least part of the funding, you must buy it from the bank. Yeah, right? Then what about the staffing? Now with the example what I told, I'm sure you can give me a good solution on the staffing. How should the staffing be done? Remember, this is high IT. This is high IT project. How should the staffing be done? What do you think?
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, you went off.
Yeah. Actually, not me. I think you went off.
Okay.
Yeah, right. So I was talking about the staffing. So what should you suggest on staffing?
Okay.
It's a foreign operation. What should you do with the staffing? Remember?
Okay.
Remember, their income levels are very low. So that means the labor cost must be very low. Isn't it?
Okay.
Right?
No. Okay.
So that is something.
So for the trigger, does it say anything about their labor unions and anything like labor laws there, or you have to
Nothing.
Say?
Yeah, nothing. They don't say, because this is just a preliminary one. It's a good thing what you ask, but we do not know any of those things. We have not even discussed with the company. So we do not know so much of details. Only thing what we know, in that country the income levels are very low, and therefore the salaries may be low, labor cost may be low.
Okay, but is it also good for you to also state that there is a need for us to understand their labor laws?
Yes.
So as to incorporate them into our strategy and
because
our
surely. Lot of things to be done, because you have to do a due diligence, you have to do all that, because we are just answering the questions but he has put up.
Okay.
This is just a preliminary one. We can't come to any conclusion.
But since just like the other time you advised that under my level now is a management level.
Yes.
It's not a strategic level where you don't if you are not being asked to advise or recommend.
Exactly.
You don't come out to say things that is not are looking as if you are part of the decision making team.
Correct.
So for instance, this one is, if they have not asked you, can you go ahead to say that it will be very appropriate for us to also understand the labor laws and what is it appropriate for you to say that if you have not been asked?
That you can just mention. Saying that it's appropriate for us to do a due diligence and also to look at the labor laws, the country political stability, etc. before we make any decisions. Understand? Before we make any decision, you will do that. Okay. But because he has asked certain things, you will say, as far as staffing is concerned,
I get you.
Yeah, because their staffing costs are low. At the lower level, you will get their staff. Lower level. But for the big people, you have to send people from your home country. You got it? You can't hire the managerial people from that country. You have to send your people at least for 2 years from here to train the people.
Okay. So it will be in a form like a turnkey project.
Yes, that's correct. Right? Because we are going to acquire a company, we are going to do it. So we will take our staff, train them. Till they are trained, the senior staff will have to be from our side. But the junior staff, they will take their people.
Okay.
So that's the staffing thing which I will look at. Then I want to look at any risk involved. What are the risks involved of going into another country?
Okay. Exchange rate.
What's that? What are the risks?
The financial risks relating to exchange rates.
Yeah, exchange risk will be there because there with the monies you will be earning in that country. Whenever you want to remit it here, there will be the exchange risk, isn't it?
Yes.
So that is there. Then also the political risk may be there. Yeah, because there can be instability, stability in that part, and then also so because of that you have to look at that area. Then also,
Okay.
remember the staff that the people there, basically they are more of agriculture. So training some of those people
Okay.
to do the high IT industry may be somewhat difficult.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are some of the risks I can think of. We do not know the market. We know that the economy is boosting, but whether they have a market for data servers, that kind of a thing, we have to do a market survey. Because the article does not talk about so much about the market. So we do not know about the IT market, that kind of a thing, all that. What about operational aspects? How will you suggest operational? So it's going to be one of your
operational risk.
Yeah, that's not a risk. The operational aspect. You're going to work it as a subsidiary, right? So how do we operate? So now you remember our country, we have our directors, everyone, and internal controls are there. But when you go to another country, you're going to manage it almost on a remote control.
Okay.
Because your directors will be here and you will be managing the financials, everything on a remote control. So you have to see that you put right internal controls in place.
Okay.
And maybe even you can suggest our internal auditor to visit on a regular basis and to do an audit on various areas and to forward a report to the board.
Okay.
Because it's going to be a remote operation, and therefore you have to be very, very careful all the time.
Okay.
So that's another area that you would want to look at. So some of the operational aspects. Then of course, the staff also, you have to see the quality of the staff, all that. So those are few things you want to look at. What about the cultural aspects? Cultural aspects.
The culture has to do with how they embrace IT, or is it about
Yeah, it's about everything, because some countries they do have certain things like when you come from a country like the present country which these people in, when they come, sometimes those people may not like, because they might think they are westernized people and that kind of a scenario.
Okay.
You have to be very, you have to see whether we can adapt to the local culture. Can't change their culture. We must see whether we can adapt to their culture. We are in a country called Westland.
Okay.
And so we have to see whether we can adapt to their local culture, and the local culture, the aspects we have to do it. So the best tool what you can use is the pestle analysis.
Okay.
The moment you do a political, economical, social, technological, ecological, legal, almost everything will come out of it. So you probably will recommend a pestle analysis to do, due diligence to be done before we proceed any further. But on purely on the actions, that we will recommend some of these things.
Yeah, okay.
So those are my points. Any other points that you can think of?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So those are some of the points. So finally you will say I have given my preliminary views. However, these things should not be taken very conclusive, because we have to do a lot of work before we take any firm decisions on an acquisition. Remember, acquisition means we have to look at whether synergy is there. So all that we need to look at. So we don't recommend, but we will just say kind of an advisory thing. This is what I would think you all should do. Okay.
Okay.
So that's basically the first part. Let's come to the second part. The first section is over. It's 8th August, and we will receive an email from Peter, and the email is as follows. From Peter to you, supplier relationships. Remember, we are SparkSpace, we buy a lot of equipment, lot of things from the suppliers. Following the government announcement of an inquiry regarding treatment of suppliers by the IT industry, right? So most of the time the government will look at the supplier relationship. We have carried out an internal review and have identified some areas of concern. You remember we buy some of the data servers from that preferential who has ranked us as preferential, but we buy other components from many suppliers. We need to take action to strengthen compliance with the code of conduct, and we need to change the way we work with suppliers. So this is what the finance manager, the finance is telling you. We are planning to change the way we deal with our suppliers from a price-based approach to a relation-based approach. So probably they are right at the moment, it is price-based. Price-based means they buy from the cheapest supplier, right? Always they don't have a particular supplier, whoever is cheap at the moment, they will buy it. So remember, we are buying very important chips and components that go into the computer. So we buy from anyone and everyone who is the cheapest in price. So we are considering instigating a code of ethics for our staff, which we will provide guidelines for future supplier relations. So they're thinking maybe after the government notice. The next board meeting is tomorrow. I would like you to prepare some briefing notes for me so that I can discuss at the meeting. Can you please consider the following areas? The advantages of moving from a price-based approach to a relation-based approach. So at the moment, we are dealing on the basis of pricing. So they are thinking of moving from that to a relation base. So in other words, we will not only go by the price, but we will look at the relationships. Good relationships.
Okay.
So even if the price is slightly higher, we will take, because we know that man is more reliable, that man's products are more quality. So second part is how the CIMA code of ethics could be used as the basis of a code of ethics for future supplier relations, and what factors would we need to consider in implementing such a code for our company. So remember, CIMA code of ethics is meant for CIMA students and CIMA members, but we can always introduce a similar code of ethics. We can't introduce the CIMA code of ethics. We can introduce a similar code of ethics such as CIMA code of ethics in our businesses, right? Remember that one. So this is the government announcement. Government announced of an inquiry into big IT vendors' treatment of suppliers. A number of IT vendors face an investigation into their treatment of suppliers by the new IT watchdog following concerns that they have breached the government's code of conduct. A government appointed adjudicator said she had reasonable suspicion that the vendors have breached provisions of the code between suppliers and IT vendors. So this adjudicator is something like a regulator, and she says that there is good evidence that the companies have been, they don't talk about us, but they talk generally about the industry. All right. Okay. Hello. 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 Hi. Hello. 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 Hello.